Hey guys, we asked all of the playoff teams here at IEM Cologne who they thought was the biggest surprise out of this tournament, whether that be a good surprise or a bad surprise. So here's their answers.
I've
Okay.
got good surprises. I think Renegades surprised us on a couple of games. They grabbed some wins. I think we were surprised by that. Uh, Underwhelming. I think for this event we can say Heroic. I was really looking forward to see them and counted these guys since everything they did since a year was really convincing to me, and I was waiting them like dominating many of the matches and going really deep, and they didn't on this one. So we will see on the next ones. But yeah, I guess Heroic is the first coming to mind for the. Oh, and the good surprise is, I mean, FaZe did actually good to qualify. VirtusPro as well. They both surprised me with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to say VirtusPro as well because from like how they came back to actually get into playoffs was really insane. They didn't start good at all, but then like this comeback against Complexity and their close win versus Big was like really cool to see. I guess that's definitely something that's going to boost your confidence going into playoffs and for the whole event. And the props to them for making it happen. I guess it was very tough task to do, and they managed to do it somehow. Even though I think like they are the team who does the most kind of those comebacks, even online, and I think even online on the last major that we had. So they're good at it, I guess.
That's difficult. I'd say Complexity, right? Complexity is like a pretty disappointing one. They like on paper they have really good players and stuff, but something just seems not to be clicking. And obviously we beat them in the plan pretty convincingly, but it's kind of shocking to me still that they can't find themselves as a team.
For me, it's two disappointments. I think Mousesports and Heroic. Heroic has been one of the best teams during this online era, and Gambit made it to the playoff, and I think Heroic not making it is a disappointment. And Mouse obviously coming off the Flashpoint win, but they had a hard time, right? The mid Gambit and Liquid, but yeah. For surprises, I think Astralis coming into the lineup, losing device, coming into the tournament, losing device, not having a main orber. So they quite surprised me that they still have it in them when it comes to LAN, even though they lost a really important player in the team.
I think the biggest surprise has been FaZe Clan, as I mentioned previously. I think they have proven that they still have what it got to be able to compete. I think one of the teams that's disappointed me the most is maybe Heroic, because they seem to be doing so well coming from the online era and then not really. I mean, I wouldn't say they underperformed this event, but then again, they still didn't perform the way they want to, so it was a little bit in between. But then obviously you also have teams like Vitality that didn't make it through, and Liquid for that matter as well. Like the teams that is usually the teams to compete for the titles has not shown up at all. So I think that is probably the biggest disappointments and surprises of this event.
NIP was a little surprising. I think they have been looking pretty good online actually. And I'm not seeing them as a weaker team on LAN. I don't know. I think like if you match them up against VirtusPro, I think you would set NIP as a slightly favorite. So yeah, of course, a little bit unsatisfied with they should be with how they performed, but you gotta consider, and also for Heroic, it's the first LAN for such a long time. Of course, that it will be tough for everyone to perform the way they did, and maybe it would be tough for us to do the same thing over again if we came to another LAN. So it's still really early days on LAN, but of course, if you only look at this tournament, then Heroic and NIP should be slightly unhappy.
For me, I expect that every team which managed to go through playoffs, in playoffs, I expect everyone. I was expecting FaZe for sure, and not everyone in our team. I will say expect this, but I was sure that they will manage to go in playoffs. So it's to be honest a bit sad that we will face versus them, because I would think that that I will go like maybe even in quarterfinals. So I mean semifinals. But now it's like I can't say that they will go through semifinals for sure, because they play versus us and we want to win for obviously. So I mean, it's a bit sad that Spirit lost and take last place, as far as I remember. So it's a bit sad because they have good potential, but it's a bit sad that they managed to finish this season like in the last place.
I will tell most sports and surprise and disappointment as well. It's like both sides. They played good, but they lost some bad game, I think. Versus Complexity, where they can win easily.
I'm surprised about FaZe. They qualified to playoffs, but I think not many teams, not many players, and not many fans actually believed they could do so. Maybe it's the same for us, and I'm happy that there's 2 Latvians in the playoffs, so that's good. About the disappointment, I think nobody really disappointed that much, because every team has room for mistakes, and even if they played bad this tournament, you really don't consider it as a disappointment. You consider it as a maybe unlucky, and just it happens. So no team probably.
Who underperformed? Maybe Heroic underperformed. And FaZe overperformed. But I think everyone was expecting them to be much better than online. They had really close matches online. They have incredible skill and a lot of experience for LANs, and I think everyone was expecting them to do much better. And that they actually managed to do this. And I think at some point, yeah, that's all. FaZe overperformed and Heroic underperformed.